In this series, I'm going to share the same lessons I teach my students at Stanford and use every day in my business at Alpine. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a framework for making amazing decisions in your life and your career. Early in your life, a lot of your path is laid out for you. So for example, you might progress from third grade to fourth grade. And while you have some degrees of freedom, most of your life at that point is really showing up and doing your best in a well-established path. But as you continue to progress throughout your life, the path gets less and less clear and the guardrails widen significantly, which gives you a lot more agency in your life. Therefore, as time progresses, your ability to make great decisions has more to do with the quality of your life than perhaps any other skill that you'll have. So I'm going to share with you a decision-making framework, which I think will help you make phenomenal decisions every time, decisions which are really true to yourself, and in doing so will improve the quality of your life and just make it way more fun. Save this video and come back to it again and again every time you need to make a big decision, and forward it to someone who you know has a big decision they need to make in their life. If you're like me, sometimes you have this decision and it just rolls around in your head so much that you just don't even remember which way's up and you get stuck. So here are some tools to not only get unstuck, but actually land at the right decision for you. So think of a tough decision right now that you're wrestling with. Maybe you're considering leaving a relationship or quitting a job. Maybe you're considering hiring someone, interviewing for a new opportunity, buying a car, making an investment, or moving to a new location. The first step is to give yourself a little bit of perspective. And the easiest way to do this is to insert the words "in 5 years." So imagine 5 years from now, how old you are. Think about what you're going to be doing, where you're going to be living, and ask that future version of yourself, what decision will you wish I had made right now? Would your future self want you to stay stuck in a dead-end job or a toxic relationship? Or would they tell you to stop wasting your time and move on? Would your future self want you to start progressing toward that career you're really excited about now? Or would they want you to procrastinate that for a long period of time? The reason that this framework is so effective is that anytime you're going to make a change of any kind, there's going to be some pain associated with that. So if you're solving for just one day, it's always going to be less painful to stay where you are. But when you look out 5 years and ask, what will I wish I would have done 5 years from now? That allows you to overcome that initial inertia, deal with that pain of change, and make the decision that's really going to put you on the track you want to be on in your life. Another framework that will help you make great decisions is to ask yourself this question: what decision would I make if I knew I wouldn't fail? So what if you knew that pivoting careers was going to work out great, or you knew that leaving this relationship would lead you to finding a new partner who deeply respects you and you connect with? Removing fear from the equation helps you gain clarity and identify what your real truth is. Once you know your truth, now you can start working on reducing the risk of the thing that you fear. The final framing to think about is to depersonalize the situation. So imagine a friend came to you with the exact same problem or decision. What advice would you give to them? Have you ever noticed how you are the most brilliant psychologist at solving your friends' relationships problems, but then you struggle mightily with your own? It's because you're too emotionally invested in your own situations to see it clearly. So you want to depersonalize the situation. You want to step outside of yourself and give the very, very best advice that you give your friend, and then realize that's actually the advice you want to give to yourself. One of the exercises I do with my students is I have them envision that they're at their 10th business school reunion, and they decided to go after this really exciting dream that they had, and it went great, and they overcame all these obstacles, and they're having this incredible adventure. And then at the end of that exercise, I ask everyone, would you advise your partner to go do that thing? And 100% of hands go up in the air every single time I do this exercise. And then I say, are you going to go do your thing? And people all of a sudden get a little bit scared and a little bit hesitant. So why is it so much easier to advise other people? It's because our own fear and our own emotions cloud our judgment. So depersonalize your situation and listen to the advice you would give someone else. And that's usually the advice you should take yourself. So in summary, a 3-part framework for making amazing decisions. First, get some perspective by thinking 5 years out. Second, remove fear from the equation by asking yourself, what would I do if I knew I wouldn't fail? And third, help yourself think objectively by depersonalizing the situation and asking yourself, what advice would I give to a friend in the same circumstance? Save this video and revisit it anytime you're facing a difficult decision. Send it to a friend who has a tough decision to make, and tell me in the comments what's a big decision you're grappling with right now.